Listen.
You're not in the frame yet.
To the sound. It's a walk on from deep within. It's only beginning to find relief.
Okay.
Listen. Oh. That was such a further drop than I anticipated. I can't even lie
Came down
right
a
now.
little too hard.
I did. I was like, wait a minute. But that's
you're so
okay.
funny. I thought you were going to keep going.
I would have,
what
but
is
then I'm trying to be more cognizant of not dragging something too long. You
Short and
gotta
sweet.
know the time.
Yeah, we can do a little.
Yeah, just a little that and a little more, and then some salt and pepper. But then, you don't want the grinder to break.
No.
And then it's just a lot of salt.
You don't want to sneeze.
No, you can't. So
I'm catching what you're putting
you
down.
give them a taste, and honestly, with the amount of times we sung on this podcast, we got a whole album.
Snitch it all together. That'd be actually kind of funny.
That would be.
What is it? Something come from my dreams to be heard. They will not be pushed aside or turned into your own. All 'cause you won't
listen. Listen. As I just said, I was gonna shut the fuck up.
No, I the part was in my head, so we just had to get it out.
We did.
Hey y'all.
Hey everybody.
Hi guys.
I gotta put my phone on sleep mode. I forgot. We don't need anyone.
Speaking of sleep mode,
Oh shit.
I have a story, friends.
That actually was not even a planned transition.
Yeah,
But
it just happened off the. I thought you thought, but he didn't. So it just came naturally.
Maggie, you caught on to something before me.
I did.
And that's on growth.
Because usually you gotta spell it out for me.
Before the
I'll
story,
read
hey
the book
everyone, and welcome to the Shade of It All.
Yes, welcome to the Shade of It All. I'm Magdala.
And I'm Brandon.
I was trying to say hi to them earlier, but you were distracted.
Why?
I said, "Hey guys."
Oh, did you?
You didn't
I probably was. Honestly, I got sidetracked because I saw
hear me.
I saw you look at your phone, and that got me sidetracked because I think you got a message, and then I was like, "Oh, I have to put my phone
I may
on
have
sleep
been
mode."
multitasking.
But honestly, that's on me. I need to do better. I can't be blaming you for everything. So I'm sorry.
I'm glad that you caught that because I was like, "What the fuck does this have to do with me?" Hey y'all, welcome to the Shade of It All.
Hi.
I'm Magdala.
I'm Brandon.
So I've changed all my social media to Maggie, so maybe I should just be Maggie now.
Did you really? Mm-hmm. Like everything? Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's only two things.
When did you do it?
Well, Facebook is connected to Instagram, and then now TikTok says Maggie.
I mean,
but Facebook or Instagram requires a last name, so I'm Maggie Saint. But I don't like. I think it's ST.
oh, okay. I mean, whatever you want to be.
It's full out.
Oh, is it?
I'm Maggie Saint there, and on TikTok I'm just Maggie. So maybe I should just be Maggie.
Just Maggie. What made you change?
Separation between church and state. Wait. Oh yeah, I'm Maggie on here.
Okay.
So I was like, our podcast isn't bad, but I do need a job. So in the rare instance that they find this,
True.
I kind of want it to be a little harder to find.
True.
Also, if I piss somebody off, don't want them to find my LinkedIn easily,
Fair. That's smart. Yeah, because we're not bad, but certainly we curse and talk about things. So it's like.
So depending on the person, they might find it inappropriate. I think we're fine
Better play
compared
it
to some. So
I welcome my job to find mine.
Please
find it.
Please discover me. I was
Put me on blast.
No, but you know how that wouldn't happen to me per se, but you know how people are like, oh, here's somebody was acting out saying racist things on a subway, and then it's like, I found her LinkedIn. Like the way that the internet is just so like,
oh, they're able to find things quickly.
Not that it matters that much, but
I mean, you're not like those problematic people, but I get it.
Right.
Keep some anonymity.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
You did go off, King.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be Mag.
Mag.
M.
Mags.
I'm just gonna be M.
I'm just
one letter.
I'm just
I think I probably should have spoke to you about it first, because I think I have to wait like 2 weeks before I can change it again. But maybe we'll go even shorter. But
I mean, Maggie's
Maggie
good.
works. Nobody knows me as Maggie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't go to work until people call me Maggie. It's really what my family calls me. But y'all are fam. You're fam, Brandon. Well, you were here before my rebranding into Magdala.
I feel like right before, because if y'all listen to past episodes, we talked about how we met. And I think she introduced herself as Maggie.
Yeah. So it was like, up until I graduated college, I just went by Maggie. And then when I was a senior in college, I went to Haiti and I was like, oh, I'm Haitian and I have a Haitian name and I actually like my name. Let me have people call me by that. So that was what this is all about.
You know,
I'm two people. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm multifaceted.
No, so it was really like old friends, like people who were like close friends would know me by that name and stuff like that. But
I support whatever, of course. Whatever you want to be called, I'll call you.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yes. I like Magdala. It is a pretty name.
Isn't it? I was like, oh, my mom ate. But when I was growing up, I hated my first name. I think because people would make fun of it. I mean, some people say weird things when I introduce myself to them. One lady told me to my face that my name was unusual. And I was like, I just looked at her and she was like, what? And I'm like, and I think
sometimes
I like walked away.
You can keep comments to yourself.
Right. What am I supposed to say? Yes, it is. Like, no. You know, like, what was I supposed to do in that moment?
People are so stupid.
That's unusual.
That's an inside thought. And also, like, expand your horizons, Becky. Anyways, bitch, whatever.
Just so random. God. I think that's the worst I've gotten. But yeah. So...
Oh, yes.
Do not disturb.
Do not disturb. Maggie has a story.
I have a story. It is actually really funny. So, for all of you iPhoners out there, I'm assuming Android phones do this too, but we have the do not disturb button, right? And a couple months ago, I explored all the settings and I saw that like you could put people on a list to say you can disturb me at any time, even when I have do not disturb on, right? So I started using it more because I found out I had ADHD and I was like, this is a distraction, so I should probably turn it on. And I think my phone automatically does sleep after a certain time, or sometimes in the evening, like if I'm part of a group chat or something and people are talking too much, I'm just going to turn it on.
Yeah, I think my phone does the sleep mode automatically at like 9:45.
Yeah, I think whatever sleep thing you have like set up, it'll do it for you. So I was doing that. But I was confused because somehow all of Brandon's texts always came through. And I
made the list.
Well, you were on the list. You were. And then I was like, okay, let me remove him because I need to go to sleep. Or like, I don't need to know this right now. And so I removed him from the list. So now it's like strictly Obi and my brother's on the list. I don't think there's anybody else on it. So you were on it. And I removed him. But then I was still getting his text messages. And y'all, for weeks, I have been racking my brain. Like, how is Brandon coming through? How is this possible? So on Tuesday, I was deathly ill. I don't know. I just have these days where I will wake up sick.
Yeah.
And then if I just sleep it off, usually by the end of the day, I'm fine. So it's like 7 p.m. I can't see straight. I'm delirious. I have a headache. And my lovely friend Brandon is texting me. And I'm like, okay. So I respond. I think now I remember that I responded to your text and I told you, okay, I'm going to do it. And then he wanted to tell me that he's going to watch the Viall Files. And I was like, I can't anymore, no more. And the messages were still delivering because I was on Do Not Disturb. And then I was like, you know what? Let me put it on sleep. Maybe that will block Brandon. And it didn't. And then the last message I got was something about the Viall Files. And I was like, how is Brandon always able to notify me? So the next day, I was like, there is that notify anyway button. Let me ask him. Let me just ask. Let me just inquire. I was like, Brandon, I think my phone, either my phone is broken or you're pressing notify anyway. Like, which one is it? And he was like, oh, I do that sometimes. And in my head, I'm like, you do that all the time.
I don't all the time. I do think though, if I hit it once,
It'll do it forever?
I think it does it if we keep talking.
Oh,
I think that's it, because I wouldn't have hit it by if I just sent you the Viall Files.
You didn't hit
part.
it for the Viall Files part.
I don't think I did for that. I think it keeps going. I think at least.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because I would like to defend myself.
No. In your defense, my phone is almost always on Do Not Disturb these days.
This is true.
So it'll be like during the day and like a little window for the gym, and then in the evening. Like, I get it.
And you know,
I was like, maybe only like when absolutely necessary, maybe.
And I'm like, of course. Like sometimes at night, if I do it, it's because, okay,
Walk me through your process. Let's understand each other better.
So the ultimate reason why I would hit it is if I needed an answer on something. Mm-hmm. Now, I do take into consideration that she still might not see it. But I'm like, at least
I'll try.
There's a chance.
Yes, I'll shoot my shot.
So if I need to ask about like what time we're doing something the next day or something, or like if a clip is going to be ready, because I can edit it if she isn't able to,
which
something
is what
like
the
that.
messages were about while I was sick. We were talking about editing and stuff.
I also did not know she was sick.
Yes, I didn't tell him, and I should have done that too. Literally all day I'm like in and out of consciousness, like I need to text Brandon. I gotta let Brandon know I can't see right now.
Let Brandon know.
But then like there was a part of me that was like, no, you can make videos today. You can do it, Max. You can do it. And then every time I thought about doing something, I'd just lay back down. Like I was just in denial with my sickness on Tuesday.
That is hilarious. Because also the night before,
we're thinking the same thing.
She had said, she was like, I'll edit the videos tomorrow.
I was super hyped.
I've always told Maggie, if you can't get to them, just let me know. I've edited videos. Like, I got you. And like, we got a new like format we're doing, and it's fun. I'm like, I got you, Maggie. What?
I'm kind of having a Jesse moment. Maybe I need to improve my communication.
Jesse has more than just that.
He was like, I realized I need to. That's why you realized? But I'm realizing I probably needed to just. Because I always think about telling you something and then I don't.
You know, my thing is, you can always tell me something.
Yeah.
I need someone to tell me something.
I told you last week and it worked out. We figured it out.
Yeah. But, you know, and then, so basically, and then also how I'll know, though, because if it's at night, the phone does the automatic sleep mode. Yeah. So I'll sometimes be like, maybe she's still up.
Yeah.
But how I'll know is if I'm on TikTok and I see there's a green by Mac, and not that I'm looking, but like I'm like on the app and I see Magdala's active.
But I scroll to fall asleep.
Which
is not good. Lately
I'm like, well, she's on her phone, so if I notify her because I need an answer on something, she'll see the notification.
Yes. I've been watching old clips of. I've been watching Catfish on TikTok to fall asleep. Like, you know how people will be like part one. You could watch a whole movie on TikTok. Part one, part two, part three, whatever. And then I've been like watching that, but I really should be putting my phone up. But
I mean, I do the same thing. So like,
I need to communicate better.
You know, yes, but it's okay.
But I was just like racking my brain. How can Brandon always text me? I don't understand.
That is the funniest
I will never
thing.
Figure it out. And then because I never click that button. No shade. Yeah. I just never think of clicking it. Maybe I have sometimes when it's been like urgent, but I like I'll just ignore it if I see it's blue, whatever. So it just doesn't occur to me.
Sometimes I haven't clicked it and you still responded.
Yeah, like I'm on my phone. Like sometimes I'll look and see like who texted me or whatever, but I thought my phone was broken, y'all.
Well, I'm happy to reveal to you it's not. That was
He's
the
like,
funniest
maybe
thing.
sometimes.
Only sometimes.
I was cracking up. I was like, Obi, Brandon told me sometimes. And we were both he said sometimes. He does it all the time, but I don't know that.
I mean, I might do it more than I remember, but I like to think it sometimes.
No.
But that's funny.
That is funny. And now I know if you press it once that it'll keep going.
I think
I'll
so
know.
if it's within a certain amount of time.
That makes sense.
Because I feel like...
I was like, why is he telling me he's watching the Viall Files?
Yeah, because I just don't think I would have hit it then. Because, like, why would you, like...
Yeah.
I'm letting you know, but you don't need to, like...
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I
But
would
you did
ignore
watch,
text
right?
mentioning the Viall Files.
No, because you were like, gosh, I have to... Unfortunately, I'm going to be watching the Viall Files.
Sadly.
How was it?
I did watch. It was interesting.
Is she talking about stuff we saw this week or no?
Kind of. Okay, I'm just going to say right off the bat, I don't like Lexi. And it's a little bit what I kind of was talking about last week.
Time. She's stirring the pot.
She's stirring the pot, but tries to act like she's not.
Sounds like her boyfriend.
Sounds like some might say they're a little more similar than they think. But I won't go. I think Jesse's awful, so I won't put all that on her.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
I'll just say her she does a dance with the truth sometimes. That's it's shady. Here's the thing. Okay, so she went on the Viall Files, and at first he was just talking about her life and like modeling. I'm like, okay, like it's nice to know. Like I feel like we learned it kind of on the show.
Yeah,
like she talked about her sisters went to Paris with her because she was like 17, and it was just like your family does a lot with you, as we know from this episode. And then when he started kind of talking about the show, she talked about Jesse. And her whole thing, she was saying how manipulative he was, how he apparently told her that she shouldn't trust the producers and none of the cast.
That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. And I'm like, Jesse, what the fuck? And then one thing he said to her was, West got so famous for fucking Ciara over, or something like that. And that's where she kind of like raised an eyebrow to, because now she's thinking, oh, he dated her to get attention and all that. Oh. And all that. So it's just kind of like when you're in a relationship with a show, you get more attention and like you get a bigger storyline. And then Raven from Bitches Better said this: he told you that and you still were with him. I think there's a part of me after
how
this
old is she
episode.
again?
She's 27 or 26. There's something after this past episode of Summer House. I'm like, you like the mess. But, and then, so Nick, he mentioned Ciara, and he posits the question in a way that really annoys me. There's another model in the house. Do you feel as though there was like tension or anything or any issues?
What?
Like, we're watching things where maybe she's this way with Jesse, but we know there's editing and all this. And I'm like, I don't... there's
give us the inside scoop on that girl that I think is awful. Is she awful?
Right.
Is she really awful?
And the fellow model, because I know there's some people that are like, oh, models, like, are they jealous of each other? All this. I'm going to say this. All the girls on Summer House are beautiful and could be models. None of them should be worried about anyone. Right. Especially Ciara.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the angle is trying to act like, oh, another model's in. Is she intimidated?
He's like insinuating there's a competition.
Right.
There's enough room in the world for two models.
Right. And like Lexi's beautiful, but Ciara has nothing to worry about with anyone.
Yeah.
Anyways. And then so he asked and she said, well, Ciara told me, I don't know their relationship. I can't really speak on it. And Ciara told me to not speak about her in any interviews, good or bad, going forward. And Nick was like, she said, keep her name out of your mouth. And she was like, yes. And he was like, well, does she talk about people? And she's like, well, she did talk about me on Watch What Happens Live.
But she was asked a question about
she didn't even say anything about you. She just said, the rumor that I ditched someone's birthday isn't true.
So there you go again, Lexi, implying something, maybe exaggerating a situation, and it didn't actually happen like that.
Right. I think her thing was like, probably things catch a headline, people read into things, let's try not to say too much about each other.
Right.
And then, so they talk about the birthday thing. And this is where I say Lexi has a very strange relationship with the truth. Because she was like, well, I don't know why Ciara said she was lying, because she admitted they had lunch that day.
That's not the same as missing your birthday, bitch.
And I'm like, was your birthday party at lunch?
Lunchtime was your birthday party. It was a brunch party.
Based off how you and your family move, I think it was at night, which no shade, but most birthday parties are at night. And she wouldn't say. And he didn't ask, oh, what time was your birthday party? Or was it during your birthday party?
Well, no, she cleared it up right there. They had lunch that day. That doesn't mean they were together to miss your birthday party.
Right. So when Ciara says the
also,
rumor,
nobody went.
that part. She left out that part how only Gabby and Emerald went. But then it's like...
Not Emerald.
They edited him out of today's episode. I'll tell you the scene. People got behind the scenes footage. But... So, and she was just like, I have the screenshot of the picture. Like, she should take it up with Jesse. I don't know why she would lie. And it was just like, because you made it seem as though you invited everyone to your birthday.
Oh my gosh.
And only 2 people didn't respond and hung out, like, at your birthday. Maybe you said, like, you made it seem it was like they ditched. Everyone went. Everyone, and then they ditched to hang out together. But now it's like, oh,
and
that
they're
day
potentially together. Like, you're also implying that as well. Having lunch on the same day as a birthday party that nobody else went to is not the same as insinuating that some people are in a relationship. Like, you're acting dumb, Lexi. Like, come on.
Right. And it's just like, and then she said something. What else did she say? She was like, I was just answering a question because I was asked about their Coachella pictures. And I'm like, well, what did the birthday have to do with the Coachella pictures?
What was the question?
Because they were like, it was some podcast. They were like, do you feel like they're rubbing it in your face? And she's like,
rubbing what?
Like them being like
friends?
chummy or friends. People think they might like if they think they're flirting or together. And she was just like, well, I will say I invited people to my birthday and only 2 people didn't respond and they hung out that day. And so I don't know.
Not her taking a page out of Jesse's book and saying, okay, I was asked something, but I did say something bad, but let me think of a way to cover it up, but like poorly.
Right. And so it was just so, I can't. And so basically, that was kind of the gist of her own Viall Files.
If I was Ciara too, I would also ask you kindly, stop talking about me, because the way that you're speaking about me without me present to defend myself and insinuating certain things are happening, that's not fair to me. So, yeah, keep my name out of your mouth.
Right. And
I don't see what's so wrong with... And Nick is like, oh, she asked you to do that? Hell yeah, she did.
Oh, some might say that's a boundary, Nick, which you are so supportive of Lexi's boundaries and everyone else's boundaries except for Ciara.
Right.
I would like to read a comment from the YouTube because the YouTube comments were very good. I was very happy with them. They were defending Ciara. But one, they were like, Nick continuously attacking Ciara. What's new? LMAO. Leave Ciara alone. Damn. Really, dude? What the hell did Ciara ever do to Nick? Yikes. And this kind of long one that kind of says what I said. The Ciara obsession on this podcast is insane. This man always talks about how he praises people for having boundaries and standing strong on their principles no matter what. But when Ciara does it, it's all of a sudden a problem, and she's constantly being policed for how she does it. She does not owe West anything. She has paid him dust for the rest of the season, and she definitely doesn't have to be pleasant to him, especially after he went on his media tour, consistently using her trauma to boost his career. What do you want from her? The double standard is wild. Do better.
Yeah.
Period. Fuck you, Nick Viall.
No, for real though. Like, especially like if you cared about your platform and somebody said to somebody else that they wouldn't like to be spoken about, like at minimum you could respect that, right?
Yeah.
Your whole platform is to like air people's stuff out. If somebody doesn't want something, like at minimum just be like, okay, cool.
Right.
You know?
And I'll say Ciara had the perfect response.
What'd
she did
say?
some Page 6, like, I think short interviewer podcast or something. And they were just like, oh, I don't want to ask about Jesse again. I know you've been asked so many times, but what do you think? Lexi's kind of gone on podcasts, not necessarily saying the nicest things and talking about a birthday and not acting like you guys aren't on good terms. And Ciara just goes, honestly, she has been, and I don't care. If she comes back next summer, great. If not, see ya. Never have to see her again.
Wow.
It is what it is at this point. And I'm like, period. Pay her dust.
Pay everybody dust.
Because that's the thing about Ciara. Ciara doesn't do like these like deep dive interviews.
Yeah, she's not gonna go back and forth.
Yeah, or like speak publicly about people. She's very much, she leaves it on the show.
Yeah.
And then just like goes about her life and lives her real life.
She addresses you in person when you're available. She's not gonna address you through these platforms. Lexi, take a page out of her book and just go talk to her.
Right.
Hey, I'm sad you didn't come to my birthday party. Are you with Jesse? You guys are hanging out. It makes me sad. Say something.
Right.
Like, I don't like that. Lexi.
No.
Lexi. So, okay, Jesse said, oh, Wes got popular for being messy.
Yeah, like screwing Ciara over.
Did he get popular?
No, I would argue he was way popular before.
Right.
And then when that happened, he got a lot of hate.
Oh my God, Jesse's an idiot. Not Wes got popular. But okay, so Wes got popular for being messy and whatever. So is Lexi trying to do that too? Maybe is that why Lexi decided to pursue this with him anyway? Like,
look,
it's my first season on the show. I want airtime.
I'm not gonna say no to that, which is fine, but it's kind of like, it's what I think there's more. Lexi is far more calculated, I think, than she tries to let on. She also says a lot of words, but says a whole lot of nothing. But also, there was something on Watch What Happens Live. They were like, why did you stay with Jesse despite all these things happening? And she gave this weird answer like, well, there was only 2 weeks left, and I just felt like it was better to be in his good graces than on his bad side. It was just like weird. And I was just like, wait a minute.
No, she's doing exactly what he's doing. You ask her a question that has a real answer, and she gives you some BS fake one that she thinks sound good. But it's like, okay, you're lying. What's the real answer?
Right. Because also, as it looks like next episode, she does officially break up with him. I don't know.
She want to wait for like the end of the season.
Maybe, I guess. Which, I mean, hey, time it right.
Look,
but...
okay, I get it. You're on a show. This guy, you know, all these things are happening. But at the end of the day, I just feel like people can tell if you're being disingenuous. And that's what it's coming off as. Like, tell the real story. If you said something, if you misspoke, apologize, move on. Like, nobody's gonna say the right things all the time. You're on a platform, but to make up these little excuses is like super fake. Nobody's gonna believe you. Like, just be honest. I don't know.
As Katie Maloney would say, be real. Be real.
Were you trying to imitate her voice?
Just she like says real. She says it's something like Salt Lake City, like Utah, like, because there's people from the Salt Lake City housewife. Real. It's real. Be real. Be real.
Oh, Katie.
I love you, Katie. I miss you. Ariana was on her podcast.
Oh, this week?
Yes. It was pretty good. It was fun. They were just talking about like random stuff. She didn't announce yet what we know now.
Oh, summer. Or Love Island. I was going to say Summer House.
Love Island USA is back June 3rd. 3rd.
I was going to say June 2nd.
June 3rd. A Tuesday. Oh my gosh.
So soon.
I know.
Oh my God.
We got to get our affairs in order.
Get all of our affairs in order. I think we might have a little break between Summer House then. But
I'm actually not sure. It might bleed into it for a week or two.
Oh my God, we're gonna die. No, it's not. It's gonna be fine. It's just Summer House.
Yeah, and there's only 1 or 2 episodes, so it's fine.
When is this shit over?
Well, I think,
aren't we on 13? Damn, y'all got a long season.
I think they got at least 2 or 3 more episodes, and then probably a 2-part reunion.
Damn, so 5 weeks. Okay.
So it might bleed in a little, but that's okay, because that's just, you know.
I think I heard Wes say we have 2 weekends left. So that sounds about right. All right. Well,
all right. Should we jump into the episode?
This episode was actually
a good
really
one.
good. Yeah.
It was.
Where should we begin?
I loved the beginning of the episode where Lindsay and Paige are kind of talking.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, do you think Lexi and Jesse are gonna walk in together?
No way. She was so upset. No way, no way, no way.
And then cut to,
Oh my God. they drove together. Y'all are annoying.
Together?
Don't act so surprised.
Shit. And then Jesse's like, we're great. And then Lexi's like, yeah, I brought you non-alcoholic wine. And like, she's talking to Lindsay and Paige. She's just like, we talked for hours and hours and hours. And I'm like, what the fuck are you saying for hours and hours and hours? What do you have to talk about for hours and hours and hours? Your relationship is barely hours and hours and hours long. Like, what are we saying? What effectively are you saying in those hours?
Right.
Like,
also, Lexi, ain't nothing left to talk about, girl.
There isn't.
You asked him to help you out. You asked him, hey, don't do this once, twice, a third time.
It's just
because there's so many little like moments where she was like, hey, like early on you set your boundaries, and he crossed all of them, no regard for any of them. Then you find out through the grapevine that not only did he cross your boundaries, but he was speaking poorly about you.
Yeah.
And here we are walking in together hand in hand. Oh my gosh, Lexi.
It's just
ugh.
And look,
for what? What is? And his apology wasn't even like. So they showed us a clip of like them talking, and it was. He was just like, but like we've worked so hard, I don't want to end it. Basically,
yeah,
that's not a reason to continue because you want to,
right? And it's just like also because they get together and everything, and then the rest of the house is there, and they're like. Like Carl's kind of talking to Lexi, and he's like, "Oh, I'm rooting for you guys and like everything." I'm like, "I really like
negative Nancy.
I love love.
Love is great, but not in this house.
Not in this house." Womp, womp, womp. And then Lexi's just like saying how they talked, and then Amanda's like, "Well, what did you get from the talk?" And then he's like, "The only thing he can muster up is my communication is poor." That's it? Y'all talk for hours and hours and hours and hours, and that's the only thing you have to say right now?
Your communication is poor. He didn't hear a damn thing you said, and I know they didn't talk for hours.
No. And then here comes Ciara. So you're not two-faced? You're not a liar and you're not two-faced? Is that what you got?
He's just like, what do you mean by that?
I'm just asking. You said you spoke. And so did you come to the conclusion that you're not a lying two-faced bitch? I love her.
She just gathers people up.
She does.
It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot. because they know they're wrong, so they have nothing to say back to you.
Right.
So you can just gather them up real quick. Are you done? Are you done being messy? And leave it at that. Oh, okay. She's like,
perfect.
I'm gonna go get dressed. I thought it was gonna go longer because they always do that like commercial and they make it seem like whatever, but that's all she had to say.
No. And so they disperse.
Ciara should do Ciara, can you do a master class on how to get people together?
She should.
Just quickly. A version with profanity and without. I would love to use this at work.
We need a show where it's Ciara breaking up with people for people. Where it's just, you see this beautiful model walking up to you and she's like, yeah, so she's like done with you.
Remember how Obama had Jordan Key, you know Key and Peele?
Yeah.
I don't remember his first name, but Keegan. I think it's Keegan. I don't care. Remember when Obama had an emotional translator who he would say stuff and the emotional translator would say what he was really saying? Like Ciara, if you could just kindly, like maybe do it on what's that app where you can make little videos for people?
Cameo?
Yes. Oh. Like I would submit a cameo of what I need to say. I'll give you the whole situation and you could just tell me exactly how I can gather this person up.
Yes.
I would love, I just need to learn your ways of just saying what needs to be said swiftly and quickly and so professionally. Honestly, even when she uses profanity, it's amazing. Like, yes.
She doesn't mind making a moment awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Sit in
envy
it.
that.
Sit in the
She's
awkwardness.
like, yep, I said what I said. And we're going to think about that. And then you can get back to me at some point.
When she was by the pool, she's like, all of these are my own thoughts.
I'm not speaking for them.
I'm not speaking for them. I'm speaking for myself. Bring these people somewhere else.
Yes. And then, what is it? Oh my gosh. The guys go outside and Carl talks about his bar.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, how much? It's like a $10,000 a month lease. And they're just like, great. That's amazing.
What's the term? Did he say how long?
I think it was like, or was it 10 years? It was a long time. And then Kyle was just like, well, what if you like default? And he's like, there's this good guy clause and like all this. And I'm like, this doesn't sound fiscally
responsible.
No, and Jesse even mentioned some amount and it was just like, oh, it's going to be hard to turn a profit when there's no alcohol and like everything. Because the thing is, like, and not even just that, it's like these are expensive drinks that don't have alcohol
in them.
And then it's an expensive space. And then you're also going to have coffee, I guess.
And it's just drinks, nothing else you're selling.
Yeah.
So how you gonna make your monthly payments? That's a lot of drinks to sell.
That's the thing.
If it was a restaurant concept or if they had bar food, but what makes bars money is alcohol.
Yeah.
So unless these high-end things are like the price, so no alcohol for the price of alcohol?
Yeah, and someone said on some podcast I was listening to that he should have just had like the cart and like go around and do like pop-up events.
Oh, that would be so smart. Like even like a food truck kind of deal.
Yeah,
but it's like a traveling bar. That's smart.
Mobile mocktails.
Oh,
Carl. You should have asked us.
Less overhead, man. You don't even have to. You could pay someone to do it for you. You don't never have to go. You could pay someone to do it for you and appear when you feel like it.
Right, and you could have
brought it to one of the summer parties.
You could have even done like fun themes for certain events, or like depending on the season. Like if it was summer, it would be like a more tropical decor or something like that. If it's the winter, make it more cozy. Have more drinks catered to that.
Right, you could pull up on the beach. You could do you could do events.
Seasonal drinks. Like it didn't need to. He shot for the sun.
Brandon, $10,000. How many drinks is that? Just $10,000 a month. So we're talking about meeting rent, right? So if you just need for your space, let's say each of the drinks is $20. That's 500 drinks a month. And that's not including paying your employees, paying bills, buying your supplies.
There's just a lot.
Is it closed already? It
hasn't opened yet. I think it opens in the summer.
Oh, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Can we look at reviews? How's it going?
I think it hasn't opened yet. I think August, maybe, or June or July. One of those months. So we'll see. I mean, look, I don't want it to fail. And like, if we ever make our way to Brooklyn, we'll check it out.
I want to go to New York in the future. So we got to go to New York together. I want to go somewhere with you. Yes, New York would be fun.
That would be.
So I don't mind supporting a business. I'm just saying the business model.
It just seems like there's a lot of expensive decisions that are being made that aren't smart.
Yes.
Like I actually like people will joke about the concept and like but like I think there is a way to do it.
Right.
I just don't know if you're doing it
right
the most effective way.
Right. Like so think about first off, it seems like most people who are on these shows who have businesses close them. The only person I can think of that had a successful business is Lisa Vanderpump, and she even had to close one.
Yeah.
And then obviously like Katie and Ariana are doing their thing right now, but even that, they have merch and stuff. They have other things to sell. And it's not it's like really cute high-end sandwiches, right? But they also have their merch, so I think that boosts them. And then Candy's
the old lady gang.
So like, but I feel like other people, Shorts and Sandy's is closed.
Oh.
So
yeah. Shorts and Sandy's.
And wait, is it Tom that had to close?
No, Tom Tom's still open.
It
but
was
that's more Lisa.
Pump? What was the one that Pump had to close, yeah. So, best of luck to you, man.
Good luck to you, Carl. Maybe
he's changing his idea.
Hopefully.
Maybe this is market research and he's just like, I'm just going to say things on the show and see what people say.
We can hope.
Here's hoping.
But Lexi's upstairs talking to Lindsay.
Oh, wait, but... yes. And then he also mentioned Lindsay just being a hater.
Yes, because...
I was like, clock it, close.
Kyle was like, oh, I feel like Lindsay's throwing some digs. And he's like, I'll just say it. I think the thing is, she's just, like, embarrassed that, like, I broke up with her, and that's why she says things. Now, I'll say two things. One, I don't think she's been the biggest hater. There's been...
Oh, she could have done much worse.
She could have done much worse.
But she has hated.
She hasn't not hated.
Hating has taken place.
There is that. But also,
hate
she definitely is embarrassed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, she's not over it. And, like, even you can tell with things she says. Like, Carl doesn't have any fucking balls. Or, like, that one time, he had to get someone to probably make him feel comfortable enough to leave me. And I'm like, damn, okay.
Yeah, no, she's in her feelings.
Yes, which, I mean, I get it. But I'm also like, well, look.
It's obvious she moved on very fast and is not completely over things. She tried to find a reason to be upset with you, even though you're not together.
Right.
So, you're not wrong.
Carl, you're wrong about the business plan for softball, but you're not wrong about this.
He's the most emotionally aware guy, even though Kyle has his philosopher moments, and I'm like, apply it to your relationship.
That part, because Kyle, sometimes I'm like, Kyle, yes.
Actually, yes.
And then other times I'm like, shut up. Lexi talking to Lindsay, though, and Ciara, because Ciara comes up there about Jesse. I was Ciara and Lindsay in that moment. They're just like Lexi,
it's great that you guys
I just think like our thing is like communication, and the thing about our communication is not always the best. And it's like we did talk about this for hours and hours, and then we did do this, and then we did do that. But then it's just one of the things is just like we have something so good, so it's just like one of those things where you're just like, do you want to give up on something just because communication is bad, or do you want to stick with something?
Yeah. Well, my baby's kicking. That's basically how they are. They're just like,
right.
Good. So the baby.
Yes. And then
what are they supposed to say, Lexi? What else is there to say? Also, they were trying to help you, and now that you've stayed, it's a little awkward because they probably don't agree, but they're not gonna like shit on your your parade, so they're just gonna say okay. But she spoke about it downstairs, is speaking about it upstairs. Like, it's a little.
Y'all barely dated too, though. I can't. It's just like, come on. Like, at some point, I'm like, what are we doing?
Because what is this, week 4 or 5?
Maybe 6. I'll give him 6.
6, okay.
But still. And then she's like, what do you think, Ciara? And she's like, I love how...
Oh, no, she asked her, like, how are things with you guys? Because I know there's, like, a little...
I love how Lexi met the full word count. Ciara's like, I have nothing left to give. I'm exhausted. We're not good. It's not because of you, but, like, he's fucking whack and insecure and punching above his weight class. But I'll tell him.
What does the weight class mean? Like, Lexi?
I think it's just, like, out of his league. Like, just, like... punching above his weight class. I think in reference to her like trying to start an issue with someone and he's like not equipped.
Oh, I see.
That's how I took it at least.
Yes,
but
okay.
Lexi and Ciara are also out of his league. So
Lexi, the way you responded to Ciara is how everyone's responding, because she was just like, and then they didn't know what to say. Lindsay didn't know what to say either.
Yeah. So they all separate and each go to their own dinner reservations.
Why? Is this something they do?
Not always, but I think I was listening to some podcasts and I think they said a lot of the times in certain places they can't film too many people. Like something with the Hamptons. Like maybe places are strict.
I see. And I'm assuming it's random assignments, because I'm like, why aren't Paige and Ciara together? And why is Ciara with the West?
They're like, we don't have enough footage of these people together.
Hey guys, you haven't been talking enough.
West. So Paige, Lindsay, Jesse, and Kyle go to one, and theirs is relatively like tame. They're just kind of talking about, like, Jesse talks about Ciara.
Yeah.
And he's just like, is she gonna forgive me?
Can you guys give me some advice about this, like, whole Ciara thing? Because, like...
I just don't get it. And Paige is like, she probably won't forgive you right away, but, like, y'all will be friends. And he's like, well, like, she did it to Wes. Like, they're not friends anymore, and it's sad. And Kyle's like, well, hold up. Wait a minute. But... one rule you should probably do, don't say, well, she did that to Wes. And then Lindsay's like, wow, therapy's been so good to you.
And they're like, he's going to therapy? And she's like, no, but he sounds like he is.
Yeah. And he's just like, no, because you put it on her. Like, literally, she's not talking to Wes because she felt screwed over by something he did.
Yeah.
So this isn't, like, on her.
And it's not the same situation.
Right.
Like, and Jesse's just like, okay.
Like, you're right, I guess.
Yeah, no, for real though. Like, how are you comparing her being upset with you to her being upset with Wes? Because then he says after, like, oh, but they're not friends, so she has to be everybody's friend.
Right?
Fuck? She's in the same house as him. I'm sure she doesn't want to be, but she's making the best out of it. Like,
there's exes. Most exes don't speak.
Right? You want her to be chummy? Like, you want them to have sleepovers and stuff? He's like, well, Wes has been uncomfortable all summer. Ask Wes about it. I don't know.
Right.
Sounds like it's a him problem because Ciara's fine.
Right.
Chilling with Paige. Hanging out with Amanda.
Living
even
her
talking
life.
to you, unfortunately.
Sadly. At the other dinner, it's West, Carl, Lexi, Ciara, and Amanda, and also Emerald, but they didn't show him.
Why?
I don't know. They, like, edited him out, but people had, like, footage from inside the restaurant. He was next to Carl, and they just didn't show him. I don't get
Carl
that.
was on the edge.
I don't understand, because I'm like, look, I could see, okay, Emerald, maybe he's not bringing the most, but it's like, y'all made him a main cast member. You could at least show him when he's there.
Well, I guess maybe because he's not in any other parts of the episode. Maybe he didn't sleep over at the house that weekend or something.
Maybe, unless he was there and they just didn't show him again.
We got an update on Gabby, but no update on Emerald.
Right, they at least showed
Gabby's
Gabby.
coming tomorrow, but other
Yeah, they at least gave her that.
they didn't say anything about Emerald.
No.
Maybe he could only go to dinner and they were like, okay, it's weird, it doesn't make sense.
I could see that, because sometimes they've done that. I think they even did that with Jesse once. Like, he met up with them at one point on a weekend. He couldn't be there, but, like, then they just didn't show him because he wasn't there and it wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah,
so
maybe that's fine.
It could have been that. But so they're all talking, and then Lexi brings up, because we learned earlier that it was the anniversary of West's college friend passing away. And I think it was the Thursday before. And Lexi was like, oh, I saw your Instagram story. Like, how are you doing? And then West kind of opens up how, like, you know, it's just rough. Like, I don't usually like to open up and get emotional, but, like, it sucks when someone's young and, like, all of this. And, like, then he kind of, like, pivots and it's just like, and I don't like when things are awkward and people don't get along, because then it gets me to be, like, awkward and just kind of try to, like, find the joke in things, like, essentially. And I'm just like, okay, that seems pretty targeted towards Ciara, the only person you've had an issue with. And then Amanda's like, well, like, it feels kind of like your one emotion is usually, like, joking and, like, humor. And he's like, well, that's not the only one. You know, when I learned about my friend, it was at Danielle's event or afterwards, and I went to Ciara's and cried on her bed for, like, 2 hours and all this. And he's, like, saying everything. And then Ciara gets up at one point and walks away. You could see how uncomfortable she was getting throughout it. And she just kind of tells us, she's just like, look, it's hard because I want to be there for him, and I was there for him, and, like, we were good friends, but it just sucks hearing about times when we were close.
Yeah.
And all this.
Yeah.
And yeah, the internet was kind of like, there were some people coming for Ciara being like, she made the moment about her, but then there was a lot of people defending her.
Yeah.
That were just like, there was one comment in particular that was just, like, stuck out to me, where they said, using women as emotional depositories and discarding them as if they're nothing hurts us. And I think it was more towards also the people who were saying, "Oh, Ciara's making it about her."
Like, no, absolutely not. If anything, she was trying not to by getting up, by taking a break. If she had to shed a tear or if she was upset for the moment, she wanted to have that by herself and come back, because obviously it's not the space for it. But like this moment makes me like understand West even less. She was there for you. She had your back. She was a source of emotional support. And you dragged her and was talking about her behind her back, never said anything directly to her about why you didn't like her and why it didn't work. That would piss me off.
Right.
Like, how am I this person who was there for you and all this stuff, but then there's a different side that I didn't know about and I have to hear about through the grapevine? Like, how does that not make sense to him?
Yeah.
If he can sit there and be like, yeah, Ciara was really there for me, and then hear her say, yeah, I didn't like how you were talking about me, and still not understand why she doesn't want to be your friend and why she has these boundaries up, like, you're crazy. Come on, man. Like, some guys just act so awful.
Right.
Like, and you were so good to them and they act so bad to you.
Yes.
And are confused why you don't want to be their friends, or like, why isn't she your friend? I wonder why. Maybe it's because I was so great to you and you were so awful to me.
Right. And it shows how deep their relationship really was, and why she was upset and why she felt like he like discarded her and was just like, oh, like, we can't be together because of the show, and I'm gonna do these interviews where I say like, you just weren't my person, and and like just dismissed her. So it just only kind of like sheds more light on her feelings and like everything like that. And that just reminded me of this other thing from the Viall Files when Nick asks Lexi, you know, we saw, how do you think you're going to be if you come back to the house, like with Jesse, like how will you handle it? You know, we saw with Ciara how she was like upset and like very bothered by him.
Oh my gosh.
I hate when people act as if it's an insult to say someone's bothered when that person is being open and honest about how they are bothered.
Right.
She's not pretending not to be bothered. She was upset.
Yeah.
She was letting it be known.
And she had clear boundaries with him.
Yes.
That's a scary person who can use you low key and then just drop you off. I don't want to be around him. So yes, I'm going to make it known that I don't want anything to do with him. And I am upset.
Right.
That's crazy. But I don't like how he had this whole soliloquy, like, talk to her.
That part.
Oh, I don't
He's still
like it when
not
people
directly talking to her.
It's like he forgot how to communicate, or he's scared to communicate. I don't know what it is. Figure it out. She's not like, you guys are on, because earlier in the show she like made him a drink or something and he was like, you made me.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro.
It was like the leftovers of something she made and she's just like, okay, here.
And he's like, I go.
She gave me a drink.
Like, why don't you just talk to her?
Right.
Why don't you have a conversation? You're having conversations around her, about her, next to her, in front of her. Why don't you just talk to her? Hey, Ciara, like, we were really good friends last summer and I appreciated how you were there for me and I wish we could get back there. Like, can you explain? I mean, she already did, but can you tell me why? You know? And maybe you could salvage something, but you're not going to recover all of this. Like, you've really made a mess of things.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so awful. And then Lexi goes and gives him a hug and Carl hugs him and Amanda says, my hugs cost money. And I was like, I know that's right. Like, not that... I just felt like she was like low-key being there for Ciara. Yeah. We're not all going to get up and hug him and it's going to be this weird thing and Ciara's you're the only one who doesn't.
Only one, yeah.
And I was like, thank you, like, Amanda. But he kind of made that whole thing awkward for her.
It was. And it would even be one thing if he would have looked at her and been like, I really appreciated when you were there for me.
Yeah, he's like talking about her as if she's not there.
Yeah, like kind of talking around it. It's like, it was... weird. Like, appreciated his vulnerability and like opening up about his friend, but it was just like that part was like weird.
Yeah, like I feel like it was low-key calculated. Like, I feel like he was trying to have a moment like, Ciara, remember you were there for me, feel bad for me and be there for me again. Maybe. Because why did you do that? Yeah. He could have talked about all these things without mentioning her. Yeah. Yeah, your friend passed and okay, you're not emotional. Well, I did cry about it. No, I cried in Ciara's arms and she like comforted me and gave me tissue. Like, you know? Yeah. I don't know.
It was odd. I don't know why.
I felt bad for her.
I did too. I just don't understand why he won't directly speak to her or try to have a conversation with her. I don't think she'd say no at this point.
No,
like
you guys
maybe
are literally in the
earlier
same place.
on, but like now, come on.
Like, and you are pointing out the signs. Like, oh, she made me a drink. Like, okay, maybe she is open to talking to you now. Just maybe have a conversation. And if she doesn't want to, that's her prerogative. Like, stop acting like there's no reason for this girl to not want you around.
Yeah.
Stop inviting her to kickball, hoping to spark old times. Like, you messed up. And the way you're acting like you didn't is part of the problem.
Oh, West. West, though, did kind of win me over later in the episode. We'll get to it. But at night, they all just get home and everything. Kyle cracked me up with the late night muffin eating.
Yeah.
He was like, who eats muffins? I'm the muffin man. Just eating the
He was
muffins.
being kind of funny this episode.
He was. This wasn't too bad of an episode for Kyle. Paige also burned her hand on Ciara's curling iron.
I was like, dang, Ciara, you left a place.
Fuck Ciara.
I didn't really see a moment where Ciara like registered that it was her fault, I felt bad.
Right. I think she was just like, oh, you picked that up.
No, because when she initially was like, I burned myself, Ciara was like, ah! But I don't think she registered that it was, that shit hurts.
Yeah.
I hate burning myself. And picking it up, I can only imagine if it's her palm.
Right.
Her little, holding her hand on a chicken cutlet or whatever that was.
The frozen chicken. So then the next day, they're having a pool day and then they're going to end up at the beach. But with the pool day, this conversation was kind of funny to me. It was Jesse, Kyle, West, and Paige. And he's talking about how they made up, or they're talking more about how they made up, and that West and Jesse went to the club with Lexi and her mom and sister, and Jesse was like grinding in front of like the mom, like on Lexi. And I think Wes had mentioned that earlier in the episode as well, and it's like, that's weird. And Jesse's just like, yeah. And then they like go out all night. They went out afterwards because her friends at DJ and they were seeing him there. And then they stayed out late at the box all night. And he's like, I shouldn't be saying this, fuck. And he's like, you know what? It's just facts. It's just facts. And it's, that part kind of cracked me up because it was like, it is just facts, but you are talking shit.
Yeah.
And Wes is just like, it's just like, it feels like the parent, like her family's always there and she's always with her family. And then they start to talk about how they made up and that Jesse apparently also spoke to the sister and mom for hours.
Oh.
And Wes was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's really fucking weird. And Paige is like, that is like a strong step towards something to like speak like that. And then Wes is just like, that's not, and that's how it's going to be from now on. Like, if that's how it is now, that's how it's going to be from now on. So just like,
he's right.
yeah. And he's just like, that's just like really fucking weird. And I'm like, you know what, West? You're wrong a lot, but you were right about this.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a little too much happening for a 6-week relationship. Like, going out with the family, if it's cool and they're cool, like, okay, but you talking to them about emotions and feelings and coming back to us with just, I need to communicate better. Like,
it's just,
I think Jesse is showing a side of himself to them that we don't see.
Maybe. Lexi also just has, I think, a weird codependency with her family. I'll say it.
Codependency?
There's like, why are they with you all the time doing everything? And maybe it started when she modeled, because she did say how her sister came with her to Paris when she was 17 and all that. And her mom would get emotional when she would drop her off in New York. But it's just like, why are you doing? And why is your mom and sister having a relationship with your boyfriend of 6 weeks for hours about y'all's relationship? Why? And like, okay, you guys go out. Cool, I guess. Apparently the place they went was like the box is like a weird place that it would be weird to bring your parents.
Oh, what is the box? Like a strip club?
I think it's something like they get like that at the end.
Okay. I don't know because I don't go anywhere with my family unless it's a strict place where we're just going out with family.
Yeah.
I don't know if codependent is the right word, because it's not like she can't function without them, but it sounds like she's close to them. They're part of her life, and so that's just their day-to-day.
Very close.
Because codependent implies that, like, I need you to function. I can't function without you. And, like,
they do work for her now. Their whole life is her.
It's a family business. I don't know. Not like it's a family business, but Lexi is the business.
Lexi's the business.
But I mean, if she's the business, hey, we gotta eat.
Look,
I don't know if it's codependent, but it is extremely close. Like, Alexi, we could see you on a TLC spinoff. You know, the ones they have about, like, people who are really close to their moms. But she's not that bad. Because, like, okay, we've heard about this. He met them earlier. Okay, if it's been 6 weeks, we know for a fact he's seen them twice.
Yeah.
And then we saw them once. And we heard her talking on the phone with her sister during a very emotional night. That's not that crazy.
They all live together, though. So I'm sure Jesse even has seen them even more.
Oh, they do live together.
Remember, they would sometimes, like, fall asleep on the same bed watching TikTok. Look, it's good to have a good relationship with your family, but there's some... they're just a little too close.
Not too close. I mean, it's their normal and it's not ours. I don't know. I don't want to judge her, but it is close. It's close, but I don't know if it's codependent and, like, bad. Because what if you're just really cool with your people? But yeah, I mean, you're 27, you live with them, and then you went to, like, a risque place with her and her boyfriend. That's weird. That's the weird part.
Yeah. And that Jesse was, like, grinding in front of you. Anyways.
I wouldn't... Wait.
I did like...
He chose to do it.
He did that part.
I wouldn't do that in front.
No, that was weird. Jesse, don't think...
I don't show any
We see
affection.
you're weird too, Jesse.
Yeah.
So...
He was like, I was doing this in front of her mom. Can you believe it? Why would you do that to begin with?
Right. Kyle, though, was kind of trying to defend it, but I do like how West was vocal about not much this season, but he was very adamant that this is weird. And he even says at one point, like in the interview to the interviewer, he's like, honestly, I kind of like the fact that they're weird. It makes me feel less crazy. It's like whisper. And I'm like, West, that was funny.
No, some people are really close. That's why I'm like, I don't know if I want to call it weird, but hey, I don't know.
Well,
it is very, very close.
But then,
well, you know what? You're right, because the fact that she would introduce her parents to this guy and then go out and do all, like, the comfortability level is very high.
It is
to include him in that. Okay.
So they
maybe it is codependent. Maybe.
They all go to the beach for like a dinner that Lexi and Gabby set up, and then Gabby joins them. They went separately. Beforehand, Paige and Amanda speak to Jesse briefly. He asks for advice about Ciara. And again. And Amanda's just like, just don't make any jokes. Like, just take it, like, seriously. And then they bring up the conversation of the whole, if I came earlier and West didn't call dibs, like, I would have shot my shot. And then Amanda's like, were you joking? And he's like, yeah, it was a joke. And she's like, but you told me and Craig that too. And he's like, there's no way. Cuts to the flashback where he's telling them about the conversation where he said that. And then they're just basically like, Craig thought y'all were going to hook up like that weekend and like be together by the end of the summer. And he's like, does Ciara think that? And at the same time, they're like, no.
The point is that you're acting flirtatious. Like, you're doing a lot. But, and earlier in the episode, he's like, well, the only person I've ever loved was this girl in high school. And they showed this flashback jump scare picture of Jesse. I was like, I was like, yo, wait, run that back real quick. He had an afro.
He did. He had the same goofy smile.
And then it looked like the 80s. Like, he was wearing this black shirt with a white vest or some kind of combination of this.
It did look oddly more vintage than I think it was.
Maybe it was the theme of prom.
Maybe.
I was like, wait a minute, hold on. What were you wearing? Anyway, he's like, maybe he's like, and then my best friend she cheated on me with my best friend.
Yeah.
And since then someone was like, well, maybe that's why you're like so flirtatious and stuff, because like you're scared that like that's gonna happen again, so you don't like trust that anything is real or something like that. And he's like, well, that's a thought. So he didn't even confirm it. He's like, somebody once told me this, but I don't know.
He's like, that's an idea.
Gee willikers, I have no clue.
Maybe.
Not us getting somewhere and then getting nowhere.
Right.
But
before they all arrive, Lindsay got...
Wait, was that it?
For their conversation?
Yeah.
Pretty much, I think. Right?
They were just like, tell him, yeah.
Did you watch the end of the episode?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. This was in my haze. There was a question
Maggie asked earlier. I was like, did Maggie finish the episode?
No, I did. That was it, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But before, the first ones at the beach are Gabby, Lexi.
I did not finish.
I knew you didn't finish the episode. I cannot with her. Stop. I knew it. Because when I said the thing about Wes saying that the Lexi's feeling was weird, you were like, oh, really?
I made it maybe 25 minutes.
Maggie.
I didn't finish it, guys. I'm sorry.
This is okay.
I'm not good at pretending things.
You're like,
I gasped at one point. I was like, fuck, I'm supposed to be acting like I saw it.
You know what? This is okay.
This is the first time I have not watched the whole thing.
This is true.
What minute is it? 26. I made it to 26 out of 42. That's more than half.
Barely, but that's fine.
Help me out, Brandon.
The rest of it, there was a part, so Lexi, Gabby, and Lindsay are at the beach before everyone else, and they're kind of just talking. Lindsay doesn't believe that Carl slept with someone.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah, and she's like, he didn't even sleep with me when we were together. And it's like, and you're so confused as to why he broke things off. Anyways.
You keep talking about this man.
You keep saying things that
so
are not
poorly
helping your case. But then everyone eventually gets there. And Kyle, one thing that happened earlier in the episode, Kyle found out his sperm is good and everything's all good with that. It was like 159 million.
I was like, did you need that test? Because it seems like you're good.
Right. And Amanda didn't really celebrate, I will say.
Oh, yeah, because he was being all pouty. He was like, sometimes, like, I just wish she would just give me, like, a little affection. Because he's like, I'm good, yay! And Amanda's just eating a salad. She's, like, dipping lettuce in dressing.
She's like, anyways.
I was like, wait.
You got the Caesar.
Why are you eating your salad like that? One. And two, you are showing no emotion. Like, I kind of not agree with him, but she probably, yeah. Like,
she kind of, I'll say in that moment, but also.
She didn't really care.
And so the guys are kind of close to the girls, but like they're in a separate seating area, but they're still very close to where the girls can hear them. And Kyle's just saying like, so it turns out my sperm is dope. And Amanda can hear, she's like, he just said his sperm is dope. Like, how is that even a fucking sentence?
They know already also.
Right. And he's like, basically it's just like, I would have hoped Amanda would have been more like excited and all this. And Ciara's like, Amanda would have been what? And then Kyle's like, why do we park so close? And so they go to walk away further. And Amanda's like, no, like, what are you saying about me that you can't say to me and you're trying to say to them? Like, just say it. And then she sits on his lap and she's like, I'm very happy that your sperm's okay, but I knew you were going to be fine. But like,
and
I'm
also,
happy.
What does the sperm matter? We're not even having a kid right now.
Right.
Like,
Did you miss our lunch where I said, I'm not ready?
Yeah. And remember last year when I wanted to have a baby and you didn't? And I had to just be okay with it. So now it's your turn to just be okay with it. You want to make a big deal about your sperm count. I think he just wanted to like make a story about him trying to have a baby.
Well, Paige kind of says it perfectly to Lindsay. She's like, he's very much like Craig. They really need to be celebrated. And they really need to be like affirmed and just like, oh my gosh, you're everything to me. Everything about you. Da 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 da. Like, you're amazing. And it's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to switch roles? Like,
right. Like, even the fact that he had the conversation at the house, everybody's like, you're talking to your doctor like right now? Like, you chose the phone call over an email? And he's like, yeah. And it's like, you're a psych. psychopath, I think somebody said to him.
He likes a spectacle and to make a moment. Because even after that, when they're all good, I think Jesse pulls Ciara aside. And then Kyle goes up to him and is just like, I think it's time to retire the black tank top or the black swim trunks or something. And like he's like announcing it. And Amanda's like, just change. You can just change. You don't need to announce it. You're not the first person to ever change their clothes. You can just do it. And it's fine.
You're being annoying, Kyle. Like come on.
I cannot. And that's why I live for Amanda, though, when she's just like so annoyed and disinterested. She's like, anyway.
I'm glad. I haven't seen her. I've seen her be irritated with him in the evening or whatever. I haven't seen daytime irritation. So I love that.
It was good. Jesse pulls Ciara aside and like she's taking time to get up and he's like, are you going to go? And she's like, I'm getting up. But anyways, he apologizes for the joke about the Wes calling dibs and like all that thing. And she's like, you know, honestly, like I don't like really value friendships where it's based off feeling sorry for the other person. Like I don't need anyone to feel sorry for me. And also it just kind of made me question everything you've said this summer and all this. And also with the whole touching thing in the Cancer Society, like it was really awkward. And he's like, well, that was like a joke. And Ciara, did you listen to our podcast? Did you go into the future and listen to our podcast? Because she goes, normally someone laughs when someone tells a joke.
Right. Like you didn't even laugh when you said those things.
Right.
Clock it.
And then he's like, what should I have just said? Like, because
maybe nothing. Damn.
Her thing, she's like, I don't want to like have whatever boundary. I don't want to make Lexi feel awkward, like, or anything like that. But there's a different way to go about it. He's like, should I have just told you, like, hey, Lexi's uncomfortable with us like touching like that, and we should just rein it in? And she's like,
yes. Yeah. Yes.
You could have called me. You could have texted.
Yes.
You could have just said that.
Hey, I'm not gonna do that anymore. She's not comfortable.
Right.
Cool.
Lexi would or Ciara would have just been like, okay, yeah, I get that. I don't want to make her uncomfortable. If she feels that way, that's fine.
Not a logical response.
Right.
Sounding like a foreign language to him.
Right.
What, should I have just been like honest? Upfront? Straightforward?
Yes. And then he's just like, okay, are we good? And she's like, it's whatever. And he's like, you're still upset. And she's just like, honestly, I'm just over you and her and y'all. Like, it's really like just exhausting, like all of this. And quite honestly, I think I only have a week left to care. So I don't know. I'm just over it.
Yeah.
And like, there's only like a week or two left.
Yeah.
And I'm like, period. She's like, once the cameras stop, I'm not going to give a fuck anymore. So, and that's how it ended. And I was like, very thankful to see Ciara put him in his place.
Yeah. It's just like, okay. He really feels like, I love how she had to spell it out for him. Like the fact that he doesn't know what he should have done really makes me question these 3-hour, 4-hour lectures from Lexi's parents. Like, what did you guys talk about? But like, maybe it wasn't about this stuff, but I feel like it's related. Like, you are speaking recklessly.
Yeah.
Like you're making excuses and you're just saying stuff to say stuff, and sometimes the things you say aren't cool. Like,
right.
Maybe be more mindful of what you say. I feel like that's the bottom line. Is like, you're just saying stuff, but those things that he said to Ciara were like trying to get him away from like being in trouble with Lexi, basically.
Yeah.
The whole touching thing was something you created in your mind. Actually, nobody cared.
Right. I think the least of Lexi's worries, although based off the preview for next week, I don't know if it was. Because the preview for next week, Lexi officially breaks things off with Jesse. And he tells everyone, including Ciara, she got upset that we made up. And she's basically like, how could you make up with her? She's been so rude to West and all these things. And then apparently at the dinner that night, Lexi goes, based off everything Jesse's told me about Ciara this summer, I don't trust you, Ciara. So it's like, okay, so you've had an issue with Ciara and haven't communicated her with that. But then also wonder why you guys aren't on good terms.
Yeah.
And all this. And also I'm like, what is Jesse saying about Ciara?
Well, that kind of tracks because he's always speaking from West's perspective. He's never taken Ciara's feelings into consideration. He just thinks of like, oh, she's just like bitter and she's just like this and just like that.
Yeah.
So if she is like learning about Ciara through Jesse's perspective, then I get why it would be negative, but I can't believe she would believe him. Like, if he's telling lies about you, you don't think he's lying about Ciara?
Right. Uh-oh, my camera's about to die.
Oh, no.
Oh, we got to wrap it up. Anyway, hey, y'all. That was pretty much it for the episode. Can't wait for next week. But thank y'all so much for listening. Make sure to rate and review our podcast. Give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. We love those and we shout those out. Comment on Spotify. I got a comment I need to respond to on our last Spotify episode, so that's fun. If you want to see our beautiful faces instead of just listening to our beautiful voices, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Shade of It All Podcast. We post clips on TikTok at The Shade of It All Podcast and Instagram at The Shade of It All Pod. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.